the Soviet Union has officially entered professional boxing.
This is not just an exhibition fight. Look, this is us against them.
He would like to compete against anyone who's qualified.
Drago is the most perfectly trained athlete ever. Whatever he hits, he destroys.
He could have stopped the fight. He could have saved his best friend's life.
I'll never forget you, Apollo.
But now, the one thing he can't do is walk away.
Has the fight date been set yet?
December 25th.
Where?
It's in Russia.
Are you nuts?
Miss Balboa, when will you be going to Russia?
I'm not going to Russia. I don't know what you're talking about.
He's had one professional fight, and one man is dead.
To baby, he's gonna have to kill me.
Why can't you change your thinking?
Because I'm a fighter.
You can't win!
I must break you.
Rocky IV.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is the final week of Dolphgust, I think. We don't... Actually, we sneak one more in, don't we?
Yeah, we got a
grab bag.
Yeah, you guys got to figure out your grab bag picks for the end of the show.
Wait, didn't we already have something picked out?
Did we? I don't think we did. I think we talked about it in the text. It's a grab bag next week.
Okay, so grab bag.
We can always give Sean a pick since he used his for Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I'm fine with that idea.
But then again, Sean, who knows what Sean will pick?
I feel like Sean would.
I'll pick something good on purpose. Something that I don't think you guys have seen.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Done. Perfect. We watched Rocky IV, a movie that I don't think I can objectively just talk about.
Same.
But starring itsy bitsy baby, not itsy bitsy, but baby face Dolph Lundgren as just a smooth boy.
He looks like a totally different person.
6'4", 260 pound.
Yeah,
Dolph Lundgren.
He's like very wet and shiny in this movie.
Shiny. He's fresh out of the packaging.
He looks like that first generation of like 3D video games where they couldn't quite get the like light sourcing right. And every surface looked like a metal sheen.
He looks like he just got re-sleeved.
Yeah,
he looks like Stretch Armstrong from these commercials.
fresh off the lot, Dolph Lundgren, and just severe haircut, smoke show, Bridget Nielsen.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
crazy hot. I like women with just aggro haircuts. I think
you can set a watch to that haircut. Yeah. I love it.
Oh yeah. She's and it's funny because I can only think of her. She's dead now, right?
No.
She's alive. I thought
she might as well be after she fucked Flavor Flav.
Well, that's all I can think about now is her old on that fucking VH1 reality show, fucking Flavor Flav. That's all I can.
You're getting mixed up because China was on that show too, and China's dead.
Oh wait, isn't Flavor Flav dead?
No.
Nope.
Oh shit! Is everybody not dead?
Most people are.
No.
Yeah, that's correct. Most people are dead.
Most people are dead. You're
like
not wrong.
By a lot.
Yeah. I mean, unless you want to get really, really metaphysical about it, and once you die, are you still a person?
Interesting.
Well, I guess you can't be totally destroyed, right? So,
maybe.
So then
you're not a person
alive.
anymore. You're just a corpse.
Yeah. Non-existence, the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into what we watched this week. Alec.
I watched one thing.
One thing?
Yeah.
I watched Shrek 2, the best of the Shrek movies.
Wow. What's the plot line of Shrek 2? Which one's that?
That's the one with Prince Charming and the fairy godmother.
Yeah, I like that one.
Is that when Shrek becomes a man, like a normal guy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's with Rupert Everett as Prince Charming and not Jessica Andrews. Jennifer Saunders is the fairy godmother. It's so good. It's excellent. But like I can't properly judge a movie that has the song Hero in it. I mean, we all learned that after the Short Circuit 2 review last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Like,
that's
if it's got that song in that movie is a 10, no matter what. That's like one of my favorite songs of all time.
It's amped up.
Shrek 2 absolutely slaps.
There was...
I was going to say, isn't it in Flashdance? Or not... No. What's the Kevin Bacon one?
Oh, no, Footloose. It's not Footloose, is it?
For some reason, I thought it was in Footloose.
I would think it would be in Flashdance over Footloose.
Yeah, one of the movie houses, Paramount, somebody, back in the VHS days, like when you couldn't like just fucking jump chapters to get through promos, somebody had like their entire catalog, like just clips of it set to Hero, and I was like, hell yeah. And like Gallipoli was one of them, just Mel Gibson just fucking trucking the Hero. I was like, yeah, I'm into this. I don't know what movies these are, but hell yeah.
It is a great song.
That song slaps.
It does.
I remember when I was re-listening to that episode of the podcast after you aired it, and I was on my way to work at like 6 a.m, and that song, like the end of the show played, and that popped up right as I was pulling into the parking lot, and I was just like, fuck yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Actually like show up to work or put in some effort for a change. I mean, that feeling changed the second I walked through the doors, but like for about 3 minutes I was pumped. That's all I watched. That movie's fantastic. Like, all the Shreks are fun.
I like the third one. Everybody hates the third one. I think the third one's fun.
I can't remember the plot of the third one. The fourth one has Rumpelstiltskin. I forget what the third.
Wait, there's
a third one. Puss in Boots.
There's a fourth one. I've never seen the fourth one. I didn't even know fourth thing.
Yeah.
Is the third one?
And then there's like a bunch of like. No, that's the second one.
But he
shows up he comes in. He's in it.
Yeah.
Oh, but he's
in it, but he shows up. He's introduced in the second one.
Yeah.
He's like the greatest assassin in the kingdom. It's maybe Antonio Banderas' best performance ever.
How dare you?
I mean,
I haven't seen El Mariachi, but
well, he's not in El Mariachi. He's in Desperado, but he's great.
Four Rooms best performance by one.
I liked him in that robot movie,
Automata. Yeah, I think that might be it.
And did any of you see The Skin We Live In? But
I keep wanting to see it.
It's really good. He's great in it.
Automata. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, Automata's cool. You should watch it.
I've never heard of it.
It's like an indie movie.
Ballistic X vs. Sever?
How have we never watched that on the show?
Oh my god!
That was like the record holder for like the worst rated movie ever for like 20 years.
I can't believe we've never watched that on the show. Like
the Game Boy game came first, right?
No, it was a tie-in. It came in at the same time.
No, I don't think it was based on a Game Boy game.
I thought it was based on a Game Boy game.
All right, Al. Anything else though?
No, I watched the second episode of What If, which is dramatically better than the first episode.
Dramatically better?
Dramatically better.
Oh, it is kind of traumatic, too, because Chadwick Boseman's in it. It's very sad.
Yeah. I wonder if he's going to be in any more episodes, or if this was the only one he was in. I didn't really look into that very much. Yeah. But the second episode is much better than the first one. And the first one wasn't bad, but the second one is outstanding.
I'll check it out.
Other than that, I just watched a lot of boring-ass wrestling yesterday.
Yeah, that was real bad. We all watched that shit.
That was a terrible pay-per-view.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Awful
I watched
show.
the CM Punk return 4 or 5 times.
I watched the CM Punk return for like the same, like 4 or 5 times. But they filmed it, like every shot, even the AEW actual shot, they're all so shitty. You can't hear like the music hit. Like all of a sudden the crowd just starts screaming, but you can't hear like the first notes of Cult of Personality.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like it's mic'd bad because I didn't watch it live, so like, or if it's just when they got the video wasn't good. I don't know, but yeah, it's like really like muted.
Yeah, and I would that would have been like one of the greatest things ever to watch. I'm excited for the pay-per-view in 2 weeks to watch.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Darby Allin.
Pac versus Andrade.
Yeah.
You should fly back for that. Sean. We're getting
That
together.
should. Yeah.
That'd be fun. All right, and you
that's
passed the
it.
mic too.
TJ.
I watched like a quarter of a thing, and that's it.
Did you watch it on an LG refrigerator?
No, I watched it on my regular ass TV.
Reminiscence?
It was Reminiscent. So
We didn't even watch all of it.
no, I it's funny because yesterday I was like Alec just said, we were watching wrestling, me, Alec, and Gogs, and well, sorry, buddy, you're not here.
We missed you deeply.
But and honestly, like you didn't.
We
miss-
needed you.
you didn't miss
We
it.
needed you. We needed you for translations in a few parts.
I wish something. We must have been watching some wrestling show last year around the same time. Must have been SummerSlam because I got a memories you may have missed, and it's just a picture of like 9 different packs of Oreos stacked on top of each other and 5 different bags of chips on Gog's counter.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was telling Alec and Gogs, it's like, I saw this trailer before I saw Green Knight called Reminiscence, and I think it's by, because they kept saying, from the creator of Westworld and all this other shit. So I'm thinking it's Jonathan Nolan.
Yeah.
So I watched like a half an hour of this movie, and it's so fucking bad. It feels like a movie from the early 2000s.
You know what it looked like? The box at least looks like what's that movie Wally Pfister did where Johnny Depp turns into the internet?
Transcendence, which I think is a Jonathan Nolan written film, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, he didn't write it. I think he might have directed it or produced it. Anyway, this movie is real bad. Like, it's about in the not too distant future. I guess global warming's happened, so all the cities are flooded over. But that doesn't really.
Why didn't they just move?
Who's gonna buy the house, Ben? Aquaman. Anyway, so here's the fun part about that. All the cities are overflowed with water or whatever, but that doesn't really matter. It doesn't really play into the plot, at least in the first half hour. Because all it's about is Hugh Jackman has this memory machine that looks like weird retro tech. Everything's on these little plastic cards, and I don't know. The designs are real dumb. As soon as the movie started, I was like, oh no.
You tell me that the same lady that wrote 3 whole episodes of Burn Notice couldn't sell this thing?
Yeah, it's written by
Lisa Joy.
Lisa Joy. She's Christopher, or I just said his fucking name.
Jonathan Nolan.
Jonathan Nolan's wife, and she also was a co-writer on Westworld. And after watching this, I can see why Westworld went to dog shit.
She also directed this, apparently.
Yeah, it's awful. So anyway, it's like a film noir. It's heavily a film noir, which I love the film noir, but it's also a really hacky thing if you don't pull it off right. And it's real bad. For some reason in the future,
Does he walk around going, yeah, see?
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, it's one thing to make a noir, right? Like Blade Runner is a noir, but this movie is in the future a noir, and basically everybody in the future acts like it's the 40s now. So it's like a noir in the future.
Oh, and
the Hugh Jackman is falls in love with this woman who's a jazz singer, and the whole time I'm like.
It's like Dark City.
So in fucking in 2080 or whatever, we're all gonna get real back into jazz.
So I've got another little tasty Lisa Joy tidbit. She's also writing the Fallout series, which is also about a future where they just love jazz.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, she's writing. There's a Fallout TV show
apparently,
coming out?
Yes, there's a TV series. She is the writer and executive producer
of a
Fallout TV series that will be out.
Get ready for a lot of Nick Valentine.
That's going to be bad. Oh, I like Nick Valentine. It was one of the more pleasurable parts of Fallout 4. Anyway, I got a half hour into this movie, and I was like, I got to bail. A Japanese guy was selling a drug called baka, and I was like, that's it. I turned it off.
Wait, what does baka mean?
Baka means idiot or stupid in Japanese, so it's very dumb. And also, baka is kind of like a meme, like a sussy.
Is that why Fozzie Bear says it so much?
That's waka.
Baka.
But yeah, I couldn't make it a half hour into this movie. It was awful. Don't watch it. It's on HBO Max, but it's real bad.
I might watch it as a challenge.
I don't know, dude. Good luck.
I might love it. The poster looks cool.
Why do you have to be challenged for everything? Just do stuff because you like it.
Yeah.
I like challenges.
So like
that's a lie. I hate
real
challenges.
quick before I jump off of this. So like the whole thing is he's got this memory. Like Hugh Jackman's got this memory machine, right? Yeah. And so you get in this tube, and he puts this like memory hat. He puts this memory hat on you, and then like your memories manifest in this giant like dome screen. But like, why? And like, why does Hugh Jackman have to watch your memories? Like, he doesn't do anything. He just watches the memories. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's very dumb. It's very dumb. And it's like a mystery, and I could care less. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm out.
Maybe the mystery is like, why did they make this?
I don't know, but like, I think we talked about this a while back, but I've got a new thing where if you don't grab me, if it's not a movie for the show, if it doesn't grab me within a half an hour, I got better things to do with my time. I'm not going to waste another hour and a half on this fucking movie. So yeah, Reminiscence. Ironically, a movie I will forget about immediately. So yeah, Gogs.
I watched 3 films.
Oh my god!
Yeah, no, I really went for it. I watched. Let's. Where do we start? I watched 1984's Firestarter.
Okay.
With a with an almost transcendent performance by one George C. Scott.
Ow, my groin!
Yeah,
it's on fire.
Wow. Who started this? That movie's kind of wild. It's got like a better ending than most Stephen King films. I actually figured it was a Richard Bachman thing, but I liked it. It's, if you haven't seen Firestarter,
it just ends with a bunch of children fucking each other, yelling the N word.
Yeah, that's it's oh god, oh shout out to it. So like we've all seen Firestarter, right? So we can all just move on. Yeah, okay. So watch Firestarter. I also watched absolutely bonkers Return of the Living Dead Part 3. I went into it without seeing Part 2, but Part 3 was just nuts. They just leaned. I shout out to Return of the Living Dead for being the sassy goof 'em up sister series to the Living Dead.
I mean, hell, the first one ended in a nuclear. The government
nuked the town,
nuking an American city. Yeah,
yeah. This one, like, they make robot zombies, and like shit gets like it's basically the plot of Aliens. Like, they want to weaponize zombies and put them in exoskeletons, and it's fucking wild. It's nuts. Like, and there's like this weird, like, punk rock, like, big titty goth girl energy situation. Everyone should watch Return of the Living Dead Part 3. It's trash, but it's a
I've had to see Return of the Living Dead Part 2 to catch up.
I have not seen Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I just jumped right into it. So now I'm going to watch that as like a prequel sequel, so it'll fill in the gap.
On anything?
I watched it on HBO Max.
Nice.
And then the last thing I watched, I bought the Shout Factory Collector's Edition of Cobra for $11 on Amazon.
Before you say anything, man, like, did you find that movie totally unwatchable? Because last time I went back and watched it, when it gets to like the fucking industrial metal Cure music video,
it's just
I couldn't do it anymore.
It's not good. It's like,
isn't Brigitte Nielsen in that too?
She is. She is in that. It's fun, but it's like nonsensical, and like it's like Stallone was like, I'm gonna be like if Dirty Harry was also like who was Beaver's older brother, Wally Cleaver. Like he was like, he's like weirdly wholesome, but at the same time an absolute maniac.
That movie was supposed to be Beverly Hills Cop.
Was it really?
Isn't there's like a bunch of weirdness with that movie, right? Like, wasn't it based on some book and they completely changed?
It was based on a book.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that book got turned into a different. Was that Beverly Hills Cop that it got turned into?
I think so. Yeah. It has some kind of, its origins are from that book into a Beverly Hills Cop movie into I don't know what, and then Cobra.
Yeah, it's
Cobra's
like
not fun like Axel. Like, he's just kind of like deranged. Like he's whipping around that old Mercury with like, it says like awesome 50 on it. It's like, oh, that's kind of cringy. Like, and he's he keeps his gun cleaning implements in an egg carton in the fridge.
And
I don't understand why he chopped off the end of that pizza. Like, I don't get. And then, but the end of it, shit just goes fucking nuts.
Does have that great part where it's like, I don't know, I don't shop here. Like, that's funny. I like.
Yeah, that was right. He never gets he never goes like full dirty hair. It's a weird character, but he directed it. He loves montages.
That movie made a lot of money.
It had to.
$25 million budget, 160 million gross in
Part
the
of it feels like
in 86.
Manhunter in the middle, like when it gets to like who the killer kind of is, and it's like, what the fuck am I watching?
There's like sort of a weird cult. And he's got that like, remember those like Gil Hibben knives that would be like advertised in like wacky magazines? Like that knife is just silly, and the guy is the serial killer is just killing everybody. Go ahead, Kraft.
Is it better or worse? Better or worse than that movie where he dresses up like a nurse like 3 times?
Oh, he didn't see that.
I can't remember the name of that movie.
Yeah. It was not Nighthawks. It was Rutger Hauer.
What was that? It was called.
I think it was Nighthawk. Yeah.
So we were talking about the weirdness of this thing. So I would have never guessed this. This movie was loosely based on the book, fucking Fair Game. And they later made the movie Fair Game. If you remember, that's Billy Baldwin and what's her name? Cindy Crawford.
Yeah.
What?
Oh. I know it's also directed by the same guy who directed Tombstone. I'm like, how the hell did the guy who directed Tombstone also direct this?
Because Kurt Russell actually directed Tombstone.
Sean's also correct though, because it says it's loosely based off Fair Game, which was later filmed under that title in 95. However, Stallone's screenplay was originally conceived from the ideas he had during pre-production of Beverly Hills Cop. So it's like, what a weird...
Was Stallone tagged to be...
Yeah, I think he was supposed to be Axel Foley. Also, I didn't realize this was a canon movie.
Oh, yeah, no, that's why I sent the picture.
Yeah,
fucking Gorman Golobus or whatever.
I recognize that immediately.
I was like, oh, boy, here we go.
They did very well with that movie. God damn.
That movie was
pissed it all the way on Over the Top.
And then they made Over the Top.
But that movie's bonkers, and the end of it's just like
I just remember that guy that was a villain in everything with the big face.
He's got a huge face. I thought he was in Cyborg. He was not in Cyborg.
No, not Robert Zadar. Hold on, I just had the fucking page up.
The guy from The Rocketeer.
No, his name is Brian Thompson. You'd know him if you saw him, dude. He's
just always a heavy. Oh, okay. He's always a
bad guy in like every. He was Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, so that's everything.
He's also in a movie that we gotta watch called Hired to Kill. The cover looks amazing.
That's what it says on the can, I guess.
Oh my god!
We probably don't need to watch it.
Well,
George Kennedy, Brian Thompson, and Oliver Reed get top billing in this one. A film by we know this guy, Nikos Mastercos. I think he's the guy that did Red Scorpion, if I'm not mistaken. That name sounds very familiar.
Anyway, on the cover, Brian Thompson looks like a police sketch artist rendering of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like he looks very weird. We got to watch that. Anyway, that's everything I watched. Sean,
I only watched one thing.
One thing.
I watched G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes.
Oh, was it bad?
It was terrible. It was
was the karate good at least?
No, it wasn't. I posted on Facebook. It was, and I'll elaborate slightly. It's like being stuck in a car with somebody for 2 hours when they don't know what they want to eat, because it's like, hey, there's a Yakuza movie. You want to do that? It's like, I don't know. Well, what about the heist place? Like, maybe we'll get back to that. What about the international espionage? Like, let's get back to the Yakuza thing. But it's funny. It suffers from a lot of the same problems that Wolverine Origin does, because they're almost identical movies. Like Snake Eyes, if Matt was here, I'm sure he could tell you about all the things that got wrong with the lore of the Asha Karagi clan or whatever the fuck.
Right.
But Snake Eyes is a character that's cool because you don't know shit about him and he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
But in this movie, all he does is talk. It's like Judge Dredd. It's like the Stallone Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
All he does is talk. The guy, everybody's really bad in it, except for the best English actor in this movie is Iko Uwais, so you take from that what you will, because I think that guy learned how to speak English.
Iko
on the
Uwais
set.
in it? Well, he's
totally.
good.
Yeah, he's totally wasted.
Like
all the action scenes are totally illegible. You know what I mean? Like it has that weird. It's like super dark, like film wise, not like tone wise. Magic is introduced halfway into the movie for whatever the fuck reason. Yeah, there's like giant pythons.
Are any of the Joes in it?
Well, yeah, because it's a G.I. Joe movie, so have to slam Scarlet and Baroness in it. Scarlet is played by
Samara
Weaving, and she is a walking abortion. I've never seen line readings this bad in a fucking movie.
She's usually pretty good. I like her in general.
Like, she fucking sucks. Like, I don't know if she was there, like, under duress, like she got kidnapped or something.
Was she, like, blinking Morse code or something?
But it was, like, it's just knocking on every table she goes by.
She's like Marshawn Lynch at a press conference. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That's what it was. I mean, it was
That's the greatest quote ever.
It was brutal. And, like, it's 2 hours long.
They should have just gave it back to the guy that made Retaliation. That movie was so much fun.
They embraced how stupid that movie was, and also they put the camera down for 5 seconds and let the stunt people do their thing. It's another movie with 9 million swords and no blood, which just doesn't work for me, man. And like all I could think of was like,
like we lost somebody.
Oh,
we lost Gogs.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
With his $800,000 computer.
Yeah.
I hit the wrong button.
We're still recording, so it's fine.
All I could think of was fucking Oh, now I lost my train of thought after we got Gogs back. What the fuck is that?
You were talking about 800 Swords and No Blood.
It's a PG-13 movie, is that why?
Yeah, and then it's like it's a Yakuza movie. It's like I could just shut this off and watch Tokyo Tribe. It's literally 4 boxes down from this.
And Tokyo Tribe is fun.
Why can't they just make it the Takashi Miike G.I. Joe Snake Eyes movie? Because I would watch that. And then I was like, well, why don't I just watch Bangkok Dangerous? Because that guy doesn't talk at all.
You should watch. There's 2 movies you need to watch. You need to watch that True Love, that Takashi Miike movie that came out last year.
Movie? Yeah.
And then you got to watch, if you want to watch a sword movie with blood, you got to watch that The Swordsman. It's on the Plex. You'll really like that.
It's just like who's the movie for? Like G.I. Joe as a property feels like pretty dead, and like I know they own it and they want to do something with it.
Well, I mean, kids nowadays don't know G.I. Joe.
I mean, it's clearly for us, right? It's for the people who grew up with G.I. Joe.
You know what the real origin of Snake Eyes is as an action figure? Did you ever hear this story?
Mm-mm.
They were running out of money for the first wave of figures, and they're like, "Well, we'll just sculpt one and don't paint it. We'll save a bunch of money." And that's how you got Snake Eyes. Like, he's like cool because you don't know anything about him, which is also true of Wolverine.
He's also a ninja.
So he's like Noob Cyboid or whatever. Well, he's just like a filler character.
Like, I don't know. We were just talking about Cobra in the 80s, but like, you remember how popular fucking ninjas was? Like in the 80s and early 90s? Like, everything was ninjas.
It has like one of the worst like name deliveries of the movie. It's like, look at you, you've got that look like you get like the shadow before the storm. I'm like, first of all, you never said like, look at this shadow, the rain's a coming. Like, that isn't a thing that happens.
That's a thing people say.
It just sucks shit.
Is the RZA in it?
He is not. No. His part of Hardmaster, which is the best name still, is played by Iko Uwais.
Oh, I was hoping that Iko Uwais was like Storm Shadow or somebody.
No,
cool.
It's another one of those movies that can be really simple, but it wants to do 85 different things, and it doesn't do any of them well.
Yeah, that sucks.
Man, every movie, looking at it like an old property, should just watch Cobra Kai and be like, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
This is how you revitalize an old property. It's very simple.
Well, or just make the movie incredibly violent. Just like just make it in Indonesia and just make The Night Comes for Us. Get that guy that played the lead in that movie that's also in the Raid movies. I forget his name, but he's like the real handsome, the one that was Sub-Zero.
Yeah, Joe Tasman.
Johnny Handsome, yeah.
Joe, because he's in that The Swordsman movie.
Right. Because this movie, he has to not wear a mask the whole movie, which, what the fuck are you doing? It has to be some handsome guy, so they got the guy from Crazy Rich Asians, who I don't think is a bad actor, but he's like spectacularly miscast in this.
Yeah, and he's probably not like a marshal.
Looks like Nate if he was Japanese.
Oh,
Like, which is very distracting.
They should,
Jeff and Nate.
Like
if they want to make,
yeah.
if they want to make a fucking GI Joe movie or any of these '80s properties, give it to the fucking Turbo Kid people. They get the '80s. Make it like '80s is shit.
Dude,
like
make it the fucking...
You and the Turbo Kid, God.
It's a brilliant movie.
Or just like let Chad Stahelski or whatever his name is, fucking the John Wick guy. Let him direct a Snake Eyes movie.
Literally just remake G.I. Joe the movie, make it live action, and make it insane. Do Cobra Law.
Yeah.
All that dumb
if you're
shit.
gonna introduce magic into it, go ahead and go crazy with the Cobra Law and the fucking the 5% Islam story of Cobra Commander or whatever the fuck was going on there, where he was like Dr. Jakob and invented white people.
Yeah, like just go. Like,
no, it's Dr. Jakob. Also, I don't know who owns the rights to it, but re-release that G.I. Joe arcade run and gun game. That game was the
Hell
shit.
yeah, I've got that actually. On like a MAME emulator.
Was that a Konami game?
No, I don't. Possibly, I don't
know. That game was fucking awesome. I used to play that all the time. Anyway, all right, let's get to our feature presentation.
Fuck yeah.
Rocky 4.
This movie is fucking insane. This movie feels like a fever dream. Like,
was this everybody's first Rocky movie? Because I know it was mine. Okay,
it was definitely.
It was not my first Rocky movie.
It was always on TV
because he saw them as a grown man.
Yeah, this was the only one I knew I've seen for the first 35 years of my life.
No, this was definitely mine because it was always on TV, and then I went back and watched the. We had the. It was one of
4 will be back on WNUV after these commercials.
Well, the Rocky movies were one of the few movies that we had at my house, like the home video releases of. We had all the Rocky movies, so I ended up going back and watching them all. But Rocky 4, I watched probably more than any of them, and I can see why. As a kid, this movie is like. It just keeps going. Like there's
the fastest movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's insane.
Hey, you like James Brown? Good. You like sex robots? Good.
Yeah.
You like people dying in the ring? Good.
Hey,
you like
dipshit, did you forget what just happened? Here it is again.
Yeah. The movie. I told it to you guys. I told you guys in the text, but like this movie is barely an hour and a half, and like 25 minutes of this movie is recapping other movies. And recapping stuff that happened 5 minutes ago.
Well, like when he goes through the drive, guys, it ceases to be a movie as you understand it and becomes this weird musical.
Yeah.
This movie has a montage that they pause for Rocky to see his wife again, and then they continue the montage.
This movie also plays, I think, 3 or 4 songs to completion. They play the whole song.
Yeah,
I would bet my house that after Apollo dies, this script is 9 pages long.
If
and
that.
He dies in the first 15 minutes of the movie.
But like, yeah.
I mean, do we have to do?
Does anyone not know what the plot of Rocky?
I mean, just do it real fast. You can do it in 5 seconds. You can probably do it in 2 sentences.
Apollo gets killed. Rocky fights back.
Yes.
Yeah.
America.
Ivan Drago.
Like that's it. Yeah, that's the whole.
Yeah. Ivan Drago, like the greatest movie villain of the 80s.
Also,
he's everything. He's everything that everybody hated. He's a huge, handsome Russian who kills like the American hero on national television.
Not a fan of the nickname the Siberian Express. More of a fan of the incredibly morbid nickname given to him by the sports commentators from above. After he killed Muhammad Ali, basically.
He literally killed a guy.
National television.
I will say though that I totally forgot the part where they kind of humanize him at the end of this movie, where like the Russian, the general or whatever is like, "You need to win." He's like, "I fight for me."
Well, like, he also, because it's Dolph Lundgren, has to fucking tell you he doesn't care for communism. This is like, I'm not fighting for you, I fight for me.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that this has a weird anti-steroids message is hysterical when you look at Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, for real.
Well, for half a second there, I had forgotten that he was on the gas. I was like, I'm almost sure, because they kept showing the training montages, one of the many training montages, back to back, where they're doing the same, like fucking Drago's doing it in the lab, and then Rocky's doing the same thing, but with sheep or boulders or just like old women and babushkas, and then
they are achieving exactly the same results, minus the fact that Rocky's freezing his ass off.
So I was like, oh well, maybe did I remember this? I thought Drago was on the gas, and then there's the telltale syringe scene where they give him like 1,000 cc's, like they just load him up.
Oh yeah.
Like,
he's more hormone than man at this point.
I will say this: I feel like they humanized. There's a couple things that I took away from this viewing because I don't know. We've all seen this movie a billion trillion fucking times, right?
A lot of times.
Like after seeing Creed 2, right, and like kind of just taking it like looking for other things in the movie. I feel like Drago is actually a sympathetic character for a majority. Like he's like Danny the dog, man. Like he's just being thrust in this situation, like the fish out of water look on his face when he's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and he's being raised into that fucking arena to fight like Apollo. He's like,
well, he's got that look on his face the whole time because all he's got is handlers and his wife is speaking for him, and he doesn't understand what's going on. He's an abused child in this movie, right? And the thing is, like, it's weird watching this after Creed, like you said, because it casts all the movies in a totally different light. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and then the other thing I took from it, like from this viewing, which I never appreciated before, and why I was suggesting we need to have a Carl Weathers month, 15 minutes that Carl Weathers is in this movie where he's not fighting is like Carl Weathers' performance is transcendent. Like
fantastic.
Carl Weathers is like I'm like no hyperbole. Like this is a best supporting actor type caliber performance. He's
like the amount of like
the scene where the robot comes into the and I'm sure we'll talk about the robot because it's like my favorite thing in the world. When the Happy Birthday Polly robot comes in the room and starts talking, and nobody bats an eye, but he looks back at this thing. He's in the middle of talking, like very serious. He looks at the thing. He looks back at the table, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, no, what the fuck is going on here?" And he's just kind of like, "All right, well, whatever. I got to get back to whatever I was talking about." Like, it's like the most human moment in the movie. Where he's
I have to add something that I noticed this viewing, and I was like, well, that's unfortunate. So did you guys notice the ad that was playing when they cut to Apollo Creed in the pool?
No, was it like a Colt 45 ad?
It was a Church's Fried Chicken ad.
Oof.
Oh,
it's like Apollo Creed loves golden retrievers. Loves them, but he's so fucking good in this movie. Which is good because he has 80% of the dialogue in the entire movie.
He's really
in the first like 8 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That part where he's like, I don't see anyone asking for autographs anymore, and he says it with with humor, but it's that humor that is covering up like genuine hurt.
Yeah.
Like he's like,
I don't need to change who I am. I like who I am. You know what I mean?
It's a shame. It's a shame for a lot of reasons that America is a racist cesspool. But no. Probably one of the biggest is that Carl Weathers wasn't like the biggest star in the world because that guy is amazing.
Ask that. Like
charisma,
until you get to The Rock, right? Have we ever had a person of color leading man? Because Carl Weathers was positioned to be a black Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Denzel Washington.
Well, I mean like a beefy
like an
boy.
action hero,
like an action hero,
No,
because he was positioned to be a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger.
Eddie Murphy for a little bit. He had some action movies.
Yeah,
but he wasn't like.
You mean a Stallone type?
You put a lot of qualifiers on this.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, like you don't get like.
He's talking about an action hero.
We had like quintessential '80s action man.
And no, you did.
Right, we had Van Damme.
It was Van Damme, Seagal.
Wesley Snipes is the closest thing.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
But still, he was like, I would say, and I love Wesley Snipes, but I'd say he's like second tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, but I was like, Carl Weathers should have been bigger. Carl Weathers is fucking great.
Even like I'm sure, like I think Sean and I have probably watched more of his like B-80s stuff that he's in. He's good in all that stuff too. Like he's the best actor in a lot of very bad movies.
He's really good in Predator in what's a kind of straight-laced role, to be honest. Like it's like a role that should be played by like a kind of like nebbish sort of guy, but it's like, oh, we got to have some kind of weasel in here. Let's get Carl Weathers.
Yeah, he was Paul Burke from fucking Aliens, but in like a juice monster who then like nuts up, and like I love him in that movie.
He's also hilarious in Arrested Development. It has
I was just gonna say my pick for the Carl Weathers month. We're just gonna watch the Arrested Development episodes.
When he's like, you gotta throw that chicken bone.
Oh, you don't throw that chicken away. You got some onions, some water. You got yourself a soup.
I mean, he can be in Happy Gilmore, and that's cool. Like,
did you remember that?
Doing all those McDonald's or Burger King commercials.
Do you remember that fake ad he did where it's like, "Hi, I'm Carl Weathers, and I want to be the senator from your state because I was in Predator."
Yeah, and everybody else, I
want to be your governor because I was in Predator.
On the other end of the spectrum, you got poor Talia Shire, who is a very good actress who has nothing to do in this movie.
There's no reason for her to be in this movie.
Yeah.
She doesn't
even like. She doesn't even do her typical Adrian, like, Rocky, you're gonna die.
No, she's like totally supportive the entire time.
She got that big ass house out in Philly. She got to keep.
Well, it's like, it's crazy because after Apollo dies and they have the funeral, and it jumps to that fight. So I would have told you that there was 20 minutes of scenes in between that where it's like, oh, I'm going to fight him. Oh, you shouldn't fight him. Blah blah blah. Because I'm thinking of the other movies.
To it.
No, it's like, no, we're going to do this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because who's going to question Rocky?
It reminded me, because I think about him all day, every day, but it reminded me of that when Donald Trump was talking about his favorite movies and how he he didn't talk about it. Some article came out that said he loves Bloodsport, but he fast forwards through the whole thing to get to the fights. Like, you don't even have to do that with Rocky 4. Like, it just it fast forwards for you. Like, it's the story building in this movie is just the fucking Happy Birthday Polly robot.
Yeah, this is a masterclass in efficiency.
And apparently Stallone hates the robot. Can we talk about the robot? I'm dying to talk about the robot.
Can we talk about this thing I never picked up on, this one line that the robot has, or that Polly has, re the robot, where he says, when I get back, I'm getting her wires tied? Implying that he's fucking that robot. Well, not only that he's fucking the robot, but he's afraid that he's going to impregnate the robot somehow. Polly is the biggest piece of shit in movie history.
He's also a libertarian. He's got that "Don't Tread on Me" jacket. He's got an NRA patch on his jacket.
He should go ahead, Alec, I'm sorry.
I cannot stand him in any of the Rock. I legitimately hate him in all the Rocky movies.
We're
especially this one and in Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
Fuck, he's just the worst. I wish he would just die.
In the first Rocky, where she's making the dinner, and he throws a whole ass turkey at her to go out with my friend, you fucking retard.
But he's a piece of shit. But I liked his sort of confession in Balboa, where he's like, you had all the good times with Adrian, and he realized that he had been a fucking scumbag. I thought that was a really good moment.
He should have killed Paulie years ago.
I like his little fucking emotional moment before the fight in this movie, where he's like, I wish I could be better for you, Rock. I love
if I could unzip myself and get
I don't know, man. I'm Team Paulie over here.
Also,
I want to grow into Paulie. That's me. I just want to be just an unlikable drunk asshole.
I'm sure I've mentioned this a million times.
Halfway there, bro.
About the robot. But it's something I find fascinating about the movie that is not addressed by anybody because you couldn't, because it would derail the entire movie. It's not just a toy robot. It is a functioning artificial intelligence that is so sophisticated they leave their children in its care while they go to Moscow, the entire family.
Yeah. It's like Skynet.
It responds to commands and questions.
It's sentient. It's a Johnny Five, and it's like, oh, Paulie, you shouldn't smoke. And then it plays the song, and he's like, who told you to talk like that? Not hey, you fucking meatpacking idiot. How did you hack this space robot?
Yeah, Paulie's also a hacker.
Woman? Yeah.
I like when the kids are watching the fight at the end where their father might die, or Rocky's son is watching the fight, and he's like, "That's my dad," and the other two kids just look at him like, "No shit."
Yeah. Why do you think we're in this big ass house?
Yeah, we're in your goddamn mansion.
And the robot's dressed like Santa Claus.
I can't remember the kid's name.
Terrifying.
What's that, Peter?
Peter. Sorry. I said the robot's dressed like Santa Claus, which is horrifying.
The Birthday Paulie robot is my favorite thing in movie history. It's so fucking we were talking about Takashi
that
Miike
robot is
earlier.
A real robot.
What?
The robot's real. It's not sentient, but that robot is real, and it's for autistic children because I guess they want to terrify them into socializing. But I guess one of Stallone's kids was autistic, and that's how he discovered the robot. He's like, "It's pretty cool. I should just throw it."
Doesn't he hate the robot now, though? That was the whole thing. He was going to re-release Rocky 4, his cut of it or something, and he's going to take the robot out.
I mean, isn't it his cut? He directed it.
Yeah.
No, but
No, John Alvinson directed it. I thought.
Yeah, he didn't direct it. Yeah.
Are you sure?
He wrote it.
It doesn't matter.
Another thing, real quick, I don't want to dominate, but like I do love this movie so much. I never thought about this before because the scene is like dramatic because it's like Rocky not throwing in the towel. But what the fuck is the referee doing?
Right? Yeah.
Like,
thank you. Yeah.
like what is this, Mario Yamazaki? He's just like, first of all, like it's an exhibition, right? So there's nothing at stake here. Drago judo tosses Apollo across the ring, which like if they were in Russia, like which happens later, I'm like, okay, we can go with it. They're in fucking Las Vegas or whatever.
Yeah.
And Apollo is literally being beaten to death. Like to death. With his hands aren't up, he's not doing anything. The ref's like, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah. It is crazy. But it's Rocky's fault.
Yeah.
Rocky. Sylvester Stallone definitely directed Rocky 4.
Oh, did he?
So his cut, like, if he didn't like it, why? Come on, bro.
God damn.
Did he direct?
This movie made $300 million.
It deserved every penny.
$28 million budget, $300 million box office in 1985.
Is this the best movie soundtrack, like score and soundtrack ever?
No, The Crow is better, but this is pretty amazing. I mean, I think you said it.
Here's the difference, though. The Crow exists outside of the soundtrack. If this movie didn't have the soundtrack, the movie would not exist.
Agreed. They play whole songs in this movie.
Yeah. I think they play Hearts on Fire twice.
They do.
And also, how many gears does Rocky's car have, by the way?
That Lamborghini,
a lot.
I was like, when he got in the car and drove away, I was like, oh, I guess he's going to Russia now. But he just went for a prolonged Lamborghini drive around Philadelphia. I was like, okay, that's cool. I love that he took Apollo's call on the robot too. Like that was fun.
Yeah. But he also had to turn the music down.
Well,
it's like
on the robot.
I laughed because the robot's like, you can get it, or some shit. Like just the way he said it was funny.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of weird ADR in this movie that I noticed this time around because again, I was just looking for stuff.
I love how the fight devolves into some weird art film. Like it turns into like On the Waterfront and shit, where it's like the fucking round cards are superimposed and there's split screens and all kinds of goofy shit going on.
I love that.
And then Rocky, for the fight, he's getting his dick handed to him until the 6th, and even from the 6th to the 15th, he's still not doing.
Rocky's
gone to a decision. It wasn't.
Rocky's strategy is interesting. Of just letting people punch him in the face.
It's Homer Simpson's syndrome.
Yeah, it really is.
He's got to knock that cactus out.
I also love how Rocky shit cans communism at the end of the movie, and just like
great.
I have a point to make.
Please.
Why, after this, is Ivan Drago forced into like destitution? Like, he is an Olympic gold medalist. He murdered like one of the greatest champions of all time in the ring. Yeah. He should have beaten Rocky. He took Rocky's the champ at that point, and he took him to the 12th round, 15th round.
Stopped in the first round.
Like, Ivan Drago should be like a player for years to come. But then when we see him in Creed, he's like just having a bunch of kids hoping one of them's a good boxer, so he can get out of like the barrio and whatever they call that in Russia.
The Moscow barrio. Yeah, they should have addressed that. Maybe it's like he couldn't USADA testing. I don't know. Maybe like
so. Canonically, I'm looking up the Ivan Drago wiki. Canonically, he has an amateur record of 100-0.
How old is he?
I don't
look up Rocky's professional record from from Rocky Balboa. It's like 70 and like 40.
Yeah. Well, those guys used to fight a million times. Like Julio Cesar Chavez has over 100 fights.
57 and 22. 57 and 22 for Rocky Balboa.
That's a terrible record, by the way.
Ivan Drago's
it really is not great.
Ivan Drago's professional record is 31 and 1. Like Alex Wright.
When did that happen? Did that happen? I guess he did have a career.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if Wikipedia is to be believed about this fictional character, he's won 100. Hold up.
Are there
he's won 100. Sorry, 131. He won 131 total fights. He has one loss,
which is this unsanctioned loss that shouldn't be on his record, I assume, or did he lose later on down the line?
No, the one loss to Rocky.
In an unsanctioned fight that shouldn't have counted.
Yeah.
He's 131-1.
Wait a minute, hang on. He had 100 amateur bouts by the time he was, because he's an Olympic gold medalist, so let's assume he's 20.
Ivan Drago is an Olympic gold medalist and an amateur boxing champion from the Soviet Union who had an amateur record of 100 wins, 0 losses with 100 knockouts.
100 knockouts. So is there
the greatest boxer of all time?
Was it like a Russian Diggs town where he would fight like 10 fights a night? They would just keep putting up soup cans against him and he would just like knock him out?
Was this guy another hobo?
You said this is canonical. Is there like Rocky extended universe novels or something?
Oh yeah, are there books?
There might be. I don't know. I'm just looking at Wikipedia, and Wikipedia is telling me this.
They don't. I mean, you don't get a whole lot in the movies. You know what I mean? They don't really. I don't know. Anyway, do we have anything else to discuss before we get into Five Knuckle Shuffles? I mean, I already have a pretty good idea where this is going to land.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys?
I mean, just Dolph Lundgren's barely says anything in this movie. God bless him. And he's
I think he could.
Says anything.
I think this is like this is his first movie, right? So I don't think he could speak English very
Masters
well.
of the Universe, I thought.
I think this is before that, right?
This is before.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So I think Brigitte Nelson is literally like the mouthpiece, like to use a wrestling term. Like I think they did that on purpose, which is kind of brilliant.
She doesn't even talk that much.
Yeah.
His first movie,
unspeakably hot though.
Oh my god! Also, her and Stallone dated, which is funny because she's super
They were married.
tall.
They were married at this point.
Yeah,
they were married. Oh, I didn't know.
They were married for like 3 years, and this movie was filmed. And Cobra were filmed during that.
She's super tall, and he's very short, so that's always a funny dynamic to me.
So he also, Dolph Lundgren was also in A View to a Kill. I guess he was probably a heavy.
Oh, was that a Bond movie?
It was Roger Moore, I think. Yeah.
I don't remember.
But that was the same year as this. But this is effectively his first movie.
Anyway, all right. Five Knuckle Shuffle time. Alec.
10. Like, you can't, like, nobody's ever going to convince me this movie's not outstanding. Like, I can't watch this movie objectively because it's so 80s.
Yeah,
like,
really
I remember when we watched Rambo 3 and we were like, this is like where this movie sucks, but it's where people got that idea that like all 80s action movies were like of that genre.
Yeah.
But really, this is where so much of the 80s comes from. It's shit like this. Like, it's so absurd. And, like, everything is such a product of its time. It's ridiculous. Like, the robot, the music, the fashion, everything is just so fucking 80s. That Lamborghini that he's driving is like...
Oh, that thing rocks.
Bro,
it's like the ugliest model of Lamborghini they ever made.
Dude,
it's
I
like
love
the
it,
80s,
though.
It's like the 80s Mustangs. Like the shittiest Mustangs in history.
Yeah, I do not like those, but I like that Lambo.
That sweatsuit he got is like drip lord caliber. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, this movie fucking slaps. Like, you got, like, if you didn't know anything, if I didn't know anything about Rocky or this movie or the history of it, period, and you just showed me from when James Brown starts singing until Apollo Creed dies, like, that alone is like one of the most batshit crazy, like, 15 minutes in movie history. James
really
Brown
is.
singing America, like, the whole song, which feels like 2 or 3 times, with all his women with, like, their full feathered outfits,
That's
the ring
awesome.
coming up from the ground, Apollo Creed coming out of the sky on, like, a golden bull, which the head, like, transforms into something. I couldn't figure out what it was supposed to be when it changed.
I think it breaks apart because he was the Siberian bull, and that was like supposed to be him breaking. Because I couldn't figure that out. I couldn't figure that out either.
It looked like a fucking Bohemian
Looked like a
Grove
ram's
ritual.
head, like
I thought they were
bat or whatever it
sacrificing.
was.
Yeah, I thought they were sacrificing
Real quick.
Drago to Ba.
Does Caesar's Palace have a floor that opens like the entire floor?
I don't know. Like I want to ask you a question, Alec, because you bring it up with that whole sequence, and I don't know if it was just because I know I mean, I always knew what was going to happen in the scene, but I was watching it with a little more bated breath. The whole scene with all those cuts and living in America and everything, does it feel kind of akin to that scene in oh, for Christ's sakes, what's the movie with Dirk Diggler? Why can't I think of that movie all of a sudden?
The Fighter?
No. The actual Dirk Diggler movie. The why can't TJ help me out here?
Wonderland?
One more time.
Dirk
Not
Diggler.
Wonderland.
Boogie Nights?
Hollywoodland. Oh.
Did it kind of feel like that Boogie Nights scene where you're hearing Sister Christian and the kids throwing the firecrackers? Like, I was just tense the entire time because it's all these cuts.
And it's like, you know what's going to happen too.
Right, but I think it was also trying to frame it to be like in Drago's perspective of just sensory overload. Like, I was just like, I was just nervous. It gave me anxiety.
I could see that. I could see that they were trying to play it from his perspective and just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
having no clue about this like American excess, and then wanting to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie's a 10. Like, this is not a movie that I could give like an objective score to. TJ.
It's also a 10 for me, dog. This movie is, first of all, it's a movie that I literally can't view objectively. I've watched this movie too many times as a kid. It's too connected to nostalgia. And I know objectively it's probably not a great movie, but it's also like it's so unique and weird. Like, just its structure is so fucking weird, and the way its editing is fucking weird. Like, in the beginning, when it's just them talking, you can tell that they're bored with the talking. There's literally cuts that are like fades of blacks that literally feel like commercial breaks. It's like they're bored with the fucking plot setup. They're like, come on already, like, get to the fucking fight. Like, it's
to the fireworks factory.
It's so fucking funny. Like, it's like, well, we gotta put in some talking, I guess. Like, I don't want to.
I mean, some kind of like a fucking like Hollywood rule that you have to have at least 35 lines in your movie.
Yeah, it's like it was like a homework project for Sylvester Stallone. He's like, yeah, all right, it's in there. I put that in. And then you got the fucking robot. Like, the Happy Birthday Polly robot is a touchstone of my film appreciation. That like I like literally there will be nothing like that. Like I don't, like I said, like I you know, we talked earlier about Takashi Miike, and he is famous for putting at least one out of this world bonkers thing in his fucking movie and just leaving it. And you know what? Rocky 4 isn't a fucking art film, but it just has a goddamn sentient fucking robot just hanging out, not explained, just there. Also, I'm just gonna put this out there: the Happy Birthday Polly robot is a fucking birthday present for Paulie, because his kids, Rocky's kids, is like, we thought you'd like this. What makes you think this fucking asshole, middle-aged, alcoholic Eagles fan wants a goddamn sentient robot?
It's like when little kids go shopping for their parents and they buy them. They're like, oh, my dad would love Mario 3. Like, no, you would love Mario 3.
Conservatively, this robot would cost like $1 billion.
Like
Rocky's
also, this robot is on the run from the NSA from a totally different movie.
Also, Rocky's kid's kind of an asshole because he's like, help me blow out the candles, and he fucking douses the cake with fucking whipped cream. Like, oh, another weird part about this scene is whoever drew that picture of Paulie on the cake. It's like, what the fuck is that? Like, there's so much insane shit in this movie that no one, like, normal people won't remember any of this stuff. But it is all I think about. It lives rent-free in my mind. It's all I can think about. It fascinates me to no end. Like, I want to go back in time to whenever Sylvester Stallone was pitching movies, like, yeah, I'm a fucking robot in the movie. Like, yeah, Sly, go for it. Like, what? Anyway, I love this movie though, and we didn't even talk about the fucking boxing scenes are great. I know they're like super unrealistic, but they are fun.
Yeah.
And like, I follow Stallone on Instagram. He's pretty fun. Like he talks a lot about his old movies and stuff. But he said that him and Lundgren like legit like beat the shit out of each other to get some of these shots, and like you can tell, like again, it's not like real boxing whatsoever, but it is a lot of fun to watch. I love this movie, and it's over like before you know it. This movie feels like it's 10 minutes long. It's like done. It's great. Love it. 10. Who hasn't got Gogs?
What are you gonna do? It's a 10. Like you can't look at this movie. It's like just like you said. I know deep in my heart of hearts, it's not a 10, but it's a 10. Like it's fucking Rocky 4. It's Ivan Drago. It's training in this weird Siberian wasteland, and I don't know, smelting all your own equipment. It's the amazing performance by Carl Weathers. It is watching a man get literally beaten into a pulp. It's watching a guy get put into a pedigree and then thrown across a ring. It is and then through his sheer tenacity, change the hearts and minds of all of the Soviet Union.
Gogs, can I pause you real quick?
Sure.
This is another element that's completely insane that we didn't even touch on. Apollo Creed has just been murdered in the ring, and no one even like tries to help him. They just rush the fucking the media and everybody rush the ring and start interviewing fucking Drago. Fucking Creed is dying 5 feet away.
Well, there's a guy who actually like holds his microphone up to Creed. He's like, "Are you dead?"
Meanwhile, Duke, who has raised him since he was a boy, is, shit happens. What are you gonna do?
Anyway, sorry.
I love fucking Duke.
That scene is so fucking. That's another scene where, like, in a normal movie, you'd have some time to let that breathe. That Apollo Creed would just kill the ring.
It's like a commentary on like the bloodlust of the American public. But nope, it's like we got to wrap this shit up. Lunch is soon.
Yeah, this movie was directed like somebody had to pee the whole time. They're like, all right.
Smash cut to funeral, smash cut to montage, smash cut to fight. It's
like, oh, we didn't shoot like 80 minutes of this movie. It's like, oh, just put some montages in there.
We'll figure it out.
Just like Sly, it's going to be a lot of montages.
Show shit from another movie. We already got that stuff in the can.
Yeah. Just have them just running down the beach and showering together, like all the stuff that Rocky and Apollo did. So just in case you hadn't seen these.
The scene from the beginning where they are about to spar. And then it pauses.
Yeah.
Is that actually from this movie, or is that from another movie?
It's the end of Rocky 3. The movie begins with the ending of the other movie that they reshot for some reason.
That's what Creed tries to get Rocky to tell him about that fight.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Rocky 3, Creed. They do Apollo does the ding ding. They go to throw the first punch. They each throw a punch, and then it freeze frames to like an oil painting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they later parodied on Family Guy. I don't know why.
I think that oil painting is hanging up in Rocky's Italian restaurant, and who posed for it, and how did they do it?
I don't know, but that oil painting is fucking sick. That painting is fucking rad.
I mean, Rocky's restaurant looks dope as shit.
Yeah, I would eat there.
You go down and harass Spider Rico.
Hell yeah.
It works for free.
Do these dishes.
God bless him. Sean.
It's a 10 for me, dude. Like, it's objective. We don't count Rocky 5, right? Like nobody counts it.
Nobody counts Rocky 5.
Also, did you guys know Tommy Gunn's still alive?
He is certainly not alive. Of all the people that you thought were dead but weren't,
I looked him up.
He's
dead.
Dead as shit.
Damn it!
Yeah,
I don't know.
He died of AIDS. Very obviously saying that he didn't have it. But this is like objectively the worst Rocky movie as far as like narrative goes and structure and dialogue and literally anything else that normally movies have, but it bangs so fucking hard that it's like, I'm like, watch this movie like, yeah, fucking America rules, communism sucks. Like, I'm gonna change some stuff around my house.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because Liz, Liz was like, where's this fall on like the Rocky list? And I was like sitting there thinking about it. I was like, objectively, I named them all, and it was like Rocky 4, and it's like, again, I guess after that's Rocky 5. She goes, that low? I go, well, just keep in mind, the top of like the 7 or I guess 8 canonical Rocky films that there are, the top 7 are real good, and they're all pretty tight.
Rocky movie is like wildly considered to be one of the greatest American movies, full stop.
It's a classic. It's amazing.
I mean, but this movie, it's like to paraphrase a great man, it's belly's a little big, its hiney's a little big, but it's bad, and brother, you know it's bad. Like it's. And the things that are like so like fucking like just ethereally weird are total accidents. Like he didn't think like of the implications of what's going on with this robot. It's just this goofy robot for kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All they had to do to shore up part of that is like, oh, the kids reprogram the robot because they're kids and haha technology, or that there's just a maid in the background or an aunt or some shit when they're in Russia. Nope. Just a robot watching the kids. Fuck it. I mean, we're just going to roll with that for a minute. The fact that literally the whole movie, the last 60 minutes are all montage. And what the one Alec brought up where they pause the montage to go back to the same montage, like, is fucking insane. Like this is like, it's like accidental high art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Like, you could not, like, as a pretentious film student, make this movie. Like, you could try to make a movie like this, but it doesn't have the, like, I don't want to compare it to The Room, but it's, like, so, like, accidentally brilliant in that way that, like, and the fucking Hearts on Fire is, like, one of the best movie songs ever. That whole training thing, it's, like,
yeah, it's
like,
great.
what little kid, like, it makes you feel like a little kid, you want to get up and start shadow boxing shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. It's, like, impossible not to love this movie. But yeah, man,
it's great.
We could talk about the robot literally all day long.
Like, I could make a whole podcast about the fucking robot.
I never really got my head around the implications of the robot, and it's kind of a nightmare now that you bring it up. But it's also fun that, like...
That robot is alive, and Paulie is fucking it.
Paulie
tells everybody he's fucking it, and then thinks he can have some kind of prophylactic measure to not have this wet cyborg baby pop out of said robot when they get back from Russia.
RoboCop?
Dude, that's the sequel. Instead of like Creed, they should have had the Happy Birthday Paulie robot's son.
That one is so bad when Creed goes into Paulie's room in Creed to stay in there. He opens the closet. He's like, "What is this robot?" It's like, "Hey, you probably shouldn't touch that." Like, you know what I mean? Like, that robot should have been in the movie. Like, there needs to be expanded universe shit about the robot. Like, it's literally like that robot is every, like, do you remember that movie Daryl?
Yes,
it was like a little kid cyborg on the run from the government. That's that robot, and it's Johnny Five. It just wandered like across the set into a different movie, and they couldn't get to him because like the robot broke the fourth wall and showed up in another movie. That's how it escaped. Like the implications of the robot are totally insane.
Do you think they told Weathers the robot was in the movie, and that's how they got that reaction?
Sean, I think you need to come out of your author semi-retirement and write like a legally distinct, not Happy Birthday Polly Robot, but a Happy Birthday Polly Robot story, because I would read the shit out of that.
What were you just saying?
Just like, do you think they didn't tell Carl Weathers about the robot just so they could get like a genuine reaction?
Like, nobody reacts to aliens and shit. He genuinely is like, as Apollo Creed, like, wait a minute, what the fuck is that? But no, I fucking love this movie, man. Like,
dude, I imagine writing like the nightmare story of that robot being locked in a closet for like 4 decades.
I've been just thinking about this fucking robot for almost 40 years.
That story would be just questioning its existence and why it's just in Paulie's smelly closet, just waiting for Paulie to come back, only to open the door and find out Paulie's dead.
It's brilliant. Yeah. It's literally fucking brilliant. I'm telling you.
You wake the robot up and it still thinks it's 1984. Like,
no, it's been awake the entire time.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck, bro.
I like it.
Nightmare.
It's
all
like
right, Sean.
Boy. Yeah, no, I mean,
it's like Old Boy.
It fights everyone in a hallway with 2 hammers just going at it.
But I'd like to see stiff and clanky.
I like to film that.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, what's your pick next week or for this
I'm
week?
just gonna pick Streets of Fire. It's already on the thing. We can watch it. It's fun. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah. So
you went from Hearts on Fire to Streets on Fire.
I almost said we're gonna watch Hearts on Fire because like I was just thinking, I'm fucking like, God damn, this soundtrack's good.
That Burning Heart has just been in my head since I've like.
Burning Heart.
Even the vaporwave Drago theme when he's training, like fucking slaps like all the.
Also the old Soviet anthem is a banger.
Oh, what's the name of that song? It's like the March of the. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah, that I said that is a banger. It slaps.
It flexed on everyone. Every other national anthem, it flexes on it so hard. When the Soviet Union went down, we should have taken that one over and just changed the lyrics.
in Russian, yeah. Anyway, all right, Streets on Fire. That's a good one. I'm looking forward to that. You got Willem Dafoe's big old penis in that movie.
Ah,
you don't see it, but it's
there.
You know it's there.
You know it's there.
You feel gravity in the scenes.
Gogs, you got anything to promote this week?
No, nothing to pitch.
No. All right, everybody. Rocky IV is great. It's a certified good ass movie.
It's our first certified good ass movie.
First official certified good ass movie. All right, everybody. Have a good one.
All right, later, bitch.
With a burning heart.